This is Ben. He's the owner of Lucky's Speed Shop in Sydney and our tour guide into the world of old school hot rods and customs. Hope you've had your tetanus shots because he's about to take us on a dumpster dive into custom culture. In this episode, we tackle the roof chop on my Ford. This is my 1951 Ford two-door sedan. Well, it used to be, until this happened. What the what? Well, kids, if you're not familiar with roof chops, pay attention. And if you are, you'll know it's one of the most difficult tricks in car building to pull off properly. It all started back in the 1930s with the dry lake racers, who removed every bit of unnecessary weight and cut down their windscreens in search of speed. This is the origin of the hot rod. Then in the 1940s and 50s, people began lowering their roofs not for speed, but for the look. Cars in those days had super high turrets to accommodate hat-wearing ladies and gentlemen. The early car modders wanted their rides to appear sleek, like the ones in the concept art and illustrated automobile adverts. This is the origin of the custom car. The custom guys lowered their roofs because it made a car look longer, cooler, badass. Chopping tops, as it became known, was just one of the many modifications people were making to their cars. And just to be clear, right from the start, this is a hot rod and this is a custom. Both of them form the basis of custom culture. Ben has done a few chops in his time and he's good at it. How good? Well, this guy here is John D'Agostino. He's a custom legend, the best, the godfather of chopping, world famous, and he called Ben the Top Chop King. That's like Elvis calling you the King of Rock, Bruce Lee calling you the Master, Papa Smurf calling you Papa.
Custom culture never went away. In fact, it's more popular and healthier than ever. It's tattoos, it's music, and of course, it's cars. And roof chopping is still just as popular, only you don't want to try it yourself unless you're a bit of a Jedi master car builder, which is why I went to Ben, Erdahl. Ben, what the hell have we done to my 1951 Ford?
Well, we've chopped the roof on it, and some people ask why you might do that. Its intent is to lower the profile, increase the swoopiness of the car. We started with a 4-inch cut out of the A-pillar, which is about 100 mil. This is the actual piece that came out of the car. And then moving back, the B-pillar had a similar amount, a bit less, about 75 mil, because it's a more vertical element. And then the pillar was canted to accommodate the roof coming forward as it comes down the A-pillar. So that's got a little slope on it, and now these corners have been remade to accommodate that. The rear glass and frame was removed when we did the chop, and then after we got the profile just right, we reinstall it. We made a new panel behind the screen, and it's leant forward about 15 degrees to aid in that swoopy profile. Today we are going to hang the doors and chop them to suit.
Right, because that door is the old door, and if we were to put it on the car, it'd be
up here.
Right up there.
Right
okay.
up there.
So I'm guessing that yellow mark is the cut here line, is that right?
Absolutely. So that pillar section matches
it's exactly, of course,
the section that we have laid out on the door frame. Now, we'll remove that. We also cut through the B pillar at angles, top and bottom, and remove it.
And because that is now slanted, does that mean we have to slant that forward as well?
Correct.
Yeah.
So the door top, as it reconnects after this section is gone, this back corner will be lower and further forward.
Cool.
So that B pillar section we have to shorten and slope forward to equate the slope on the car, which will meet in the corner in the new position.
Cool. So in terms of the timeline of the chop, is this, I mean, I've loved working on this car, but it feels like forever. Is this the door at the end of the tunnel? Is this almost there?
This is the finishing straight.
Cool.
So the car is contiguous again, the bracing is out, the structure is sound, everything's back where it needs to be. Doors last, reassembly and paint after that.
Cool. Let's chop.
All right, so now the door's hung. The lower section of the pillar's pretty close. The relief cut that we put in the corner allows it to bend in to align with the pillar. And the door top, which we've taken the section out, should go pretty close to fitting in there.
Yeah.
And that section still needs the length out of it, but it will go in there.
All right, so we've hung the doors today. It looks amazing. I can't get over how different the profile looks compared to how it originally was. I remember you saying to me that a roof chop is more than just chopping the roof and lowering the roof. It's about the profile as well.
Well, the car is pretty boxy to begin with, and if you bring the roof straight down, you end up with the same result, just shorter. With the profile, what's important is to get it to flow. If you remember on the day we chopped it, we had planned to cut the 4 inches out of the front. We did that, we brought it down, but at the back of the car, we didn't have a measurement. We did it aesthetically. We blocked it and moved its position in the back up and down several times and looked at the car, walked around the car, and when it was at its most almost aerodynamic in looks is when we tacked it back together.
Yeah.
Funnily, the origins of roof chopping are from aerodynamics. The early hot rodders who lived in Southern California used to drive their daily up to Muroc and the dry lakes to go land speed racing, and they'd take the fenders off, and those guys who had convertibles would take the windscreens off, and they were fast. So the guys with coupes and sedans thought, oh well, if we can lower the profile of the car, reduce the frontal area, we'll go faster. So early hot rodders started chopping the roofs. The custom guys liked the look of it and started doing the same.
So where to from here? Like, it looks amazing. I'm so happy with the shape of it. Where do we go from here? Like, what's the next step?
Well, we'll finish welding these doors up, and then some finished body work, and then paint.
Yep.
My good friend and pinstriping aficionado, Ryan Ford, is drawing up some flames at the moment.
Her name's Morticia, so I'm thinking sort of something a bit goth rockabilly.
Well, definitely staying black.
Yep.
Without a doubt. I was thinking silver metal flame for the flames.
Silver flames. Okay, so keep your eyes peeled for the next installment of the project, and there'll be more adventures with Ben from Lucky Speed Shop as well.